So hello, you guys sent me a lot of requests to make a video on buildozer.spec file, so I'm gonna cover it today. So first of all, I need to get my source directory, just a setup. And we are doing buildozer init, and we have a file now. So let's simply see that file. So this is the buildozer.spec file which is just created by buildozer init function. And as you can see, it's a very large file, and I'm going to discuss about everything, what are the things that is here for this app. So as you can see, this is the title, so you can name your application right. So you can name your file like any file you type your name, any app you want to name your app. Just call it test or YouTube, anything. So, and it is a package. So package is just it is a way that Android identifies your application with a package. It creates a package and it stores all your code in that side that. So if I want to give you a little more info about that, if you ever use Java, so Android is actually execute apps on the basis of Java. Your Python app is converted to Java, and then it will run on your phones. So what happens that everything in Java is actually a package, and package is like a module. So I think it's just you're naming your module. Like you can name it the same. For example, you know, KiwiMob or Kiwi is also a module. So they named it as Kiwi. So same it as you can name your app an app package name any type you want. So it's just YouTube. Everything is just YouTube. So package domain, it's not a necessary, but it is a no. You just leave it. No need it. Source directory. Source directory is the where your main Python file is. For example, some people like this thing. What they do is they make a folder which called source, and then they create a file there called main.py, any file, and so you have to specify it the buildozer that where is your main.py file, where it starts package your application. So you can simply set the dot means simply where the buildozer file is, the main.py file is also there. Like as you can see, the buildozer file is here, and then the main file is also there. If that there, then it will be start from there. But you can change it to source and then main dot source, just source, and you are so good to go. I will just keep it as default. And you can, this is a source files to include. Then if your application needs files like zip, you can add it here. The formats which are not listed here, you can add them. Like some files need zip, some files needs ttf, this is font file size, some applications needs xls, different formats. The format your application needs, you should be uh, copying there, should be adding here. So I just leave it to the default. I don't have any app, I'm just here to explain you all these things what is. So next thing is, which is important, this is a version. Yes, you can name your version. So now most of the people starts with 1.2. You can do it for anywhere, but I like it 1.2, and it is very useful for updating your app. like you just upload it on Play Store and then you wanted to update your app after a month, then you can just simply go 1.0.1. It is the version that is come after the 1.0, and then simply you can change it and it is helpful in recognizing you which version of your app updated when. So it is very helpful. And I will recommend you to start from 1.0. It is a good practice. Then you have these. This is the most important thing, the requirements. So whatever module you are importing in your Python files, those modules which are not a part of Python. For example, web browser, you can just type web browser here. Web browser module is a part of Python, so you don't need to. So Python 3 and Kiwi is also here. You can add Kiwi MD, if mob, any you need, any other module you are requiring. Some people require a numpy, so you can also here you can put it here. So it's this thing, and then yeah, this pre-splash thing. So pre-splash is what? So if I show you what happens when you launch your TV application, a loading screen appears. So if you are not supplying any pre-flash image, the default pre-flash image is, where is that, the default it's a Kiwi logo. That this, when you launch your application you will see this logo if you are not giving any pre-splash or it says loading. So you can actually add your own custom logo of the app here. Just uncomment it and put it in your data folder and pre-splash all the address of that file. There it is. So that's it, and you can have the icon. You can also get the icon of the app. By default it's a Kiwi icon, but you can change it to anything you like, and it is a OT edition. So here it is, by default it is portrait. Portrait means it is the simple, the application is not will be not auto rotated. So you can change it to portrait, landscape, or all means it will be supported on every device, and when you rotate your device it will change to landscape mode and portrait mode, as so this is our OS X specific. It means if you have Mac OS. So we don't have any Mac OS, and I don't have any experience with Mac OS, so I'm gonna leave it. But here, these are the permissions. So this permission is also important. If your application requires internet, then you need to include two these two permissions. You need to give it to the Android: access network state and internet. You can also give other permissions like there are a lot of permissions um, like file permissions. You can ask for any. See, this is write external storage. So you can even if your app is something that requires writing on the storage to save some data, you can also use this write external storage permissions too, and Android will get it and ask for the user. Android features. So this is also required when your application is it's communicating with a USB of, like if my application is requires plugging the USB and connecting my phone to the laptop or computer, then I just uncomment this file and I'm ready to go. Then this is the API, target Android API. So as you can see, it says should be high as possible. So this is the Android API you are using to build your application. The lower it is, the lower version your application will handle. So it is by default 27. I think which is API 27. If I show you Android API 27 is for Android 8. It is 9, 10, 27 is for Android 8. So, so if you leave it like 27, then your application will not run above Android 8. So you should be always Google the latest Android as API, latest Android API, and you will see Android 11, Android API level 30. So you should be change it to 30. So main API is the minimum API level, like 21 is for I think Android 5.0, and it means your application will not support less than 5.0 version. It means your application needs a OS which is supports at least Android 5. So it is leave it as right there. Android SDK 24 is 19 bits, okay. And also make sure you uncomment this, okay. So uncomment this. If you leave it commented, then it will not work. Then and this is the Gradle dependency. So Gradle, if you Android Gradle dependencies. So Gradle is something you can think of it like a build automation tool. For example, your application is now ready to build into the Android uh, code. Like your Python code has to be converted to Java code to run onto the Android device. So Android has a different build system. They called it Gradle. So what Gradle do is Gradle take your my Python file or any other Java, any other file which is not Java, then it will convert it to Java. And so for that, sometimes your Python file or any other language file have some dependencies that are required for Android. For example, if you are adding ads, mobile ads to your application, and then some dependencies are required for Android. Some modules are required for Android to package that and Android ads thing. So they just need here. And so this is the metadata. Metadata is actually the data which is passed for to an application at runtime. Okay, so for example, when your app is running, it needs some data. It needs some initial data. Some apps require some initial data to run, so you can pass it over. For example, you again the ads. So if you are adding ads to the you know your application, then you can pass here your Android admob key. So what happens when your app runs, then Android will take that key and request the Google to fetch an ad, and it will fetch that ad and show it to your phone. So it needs it on runtime. So that's why we'll add every time we add here the data for the ads here. And yes, this thing you should always uncomment this Android log cat filters. So basically this is the filter for the logs. So sometimes you need to debug your application and see what happens, what is wrong with why my application is not working. So you can just go and go in the logcat of your Android phone, and you can see that Python specific debug statements will be marked separately. So it is very easier for a developer to see what is happening. And this is the architecture. You can choose V7A, V8A, x86. So it is for packaging or applications to different bit versions like 32-bit or 64-bit versions. So by default it is 32-bit, and people use 32-bit a lot, and there are very less phones support 64 bits. I think now every phone has 64-bit, but there are a lot of people who use 32-bit phone 32-bit. So I recommend you to make two versions of your app, one is 32-bit and one is 64-bit, and give it to the one who requires 32, give it 32-bit version, and if the one requires 64, then give it 64-bit version. And that's it. This is iOS specific, and I think you learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot something in this video. Sorry for if I did any mistake, can tell me in the comments if I make any mistake in the explanation, or if you want any other video you can request in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe, like if you like the video. Thanks for watching.